I don't like it. It can start a panic.
Look, what's the matter with you? Since when have you hated money?
I don't. I don't like to see anyone getting hurt.
Here we go again. Hi. So, who's the bad guy? That's what I'm wondering in this episode of Man Behind the Badge. Can you identify these two nefarious people? Well, let's talk about them. First, the host of the show is Charles Bickford, pretty famous guy back in in those days. I'm pretty sure he started in the silent movies and still working in the 50s. So pretty cool. He was the host. There was another guy, forget his name, but mostly it was Charles Bickford hosting this show. And the show was about real life stories from law enforcement. So each one of these is taken from a case somewhere that must have been dramatic, or I guess it wouldn't have found its way to television. So, okay, so who's the bad guy? We got two bad guys in this episode, one more than others. And the first guy is, hold on, let's see. To mention, season 2, episode 1. This only ran for 2 seasons, but about 70 or so episodes. This is season 2, episode 1. It's about counterfeit circus tickets. So there you go. That's the show. Let's move on to the bad guy. Oh, there's characters, and there's our first bad guy, Lyle Talbot, who, come on, here we go. Lyle Talbot is this guy. Well, I'm going to show you a picture, but now I'm going to show you his credits. So this guy, 337 credits. Amazon Women on the Moon. Pretty cool. But he goes way back. I think earliest credit was 1930. Pretty amazing career for this guy, and you certainly will recognize him, or you already have, maybe. Here we go. So this is the guy we're talking about.
I'd like to speak with the general manager, please.
Lyle Talbot. And look at that face. You recognize him. Look at all his different incarnations through the years. Quite a career. Anyway, bad guy in this episode, along with a woman named Linda Sterling. Let's look at Linda Sterling. And Linda Sterling had quite a career, too. She did a lot of B-movies, adventure things, serials, and she did a lot of her own stunts as well. So pretty cool. Look out for both of them in the show. Man Behind the Badge, Charles Bickford, Lyle Talbot, Linda Sterling, King Circus. Let's go. Have some fun with Man Behind the Badge. Thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm Charles Bickford. In every town all over the country, people and kids await the coming of the circus. They wait for the music of the circus band, for the parade to pass down Main Street. The circus means fun, excitement, thrills. But behind the scenes, the circus is a deadly serious business. It's a job, a big job. And often it means trouble. Every circus carries with it a corps of special officers, whose job is to protect the many thousands who visit the big top against the thieves who prey on large crowds. But all too often, the victim of these thieves includes the circus itself. Tonight's authentic story is about the famous King Brothers Circus, and of the man who realized a lifelong dream by creating it, only to find it threatened by disaster. To save the circus, and possibly the lives of many people, he was forced into becoming his own special officer. This is Floyd King, a man who staked everything on tracking down an ingenious and ruthless criminal, and who became, for one exciting week, a man behind the badge. Circus is finally in town, and it's been worth waiting for. Crowds pack the big tent for every performance. Young and old alike are caught up in the excitement. But at this very moment, another drama is beginning in this same town. A real-life drama that will soon become a matter of life and death.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Walker,
That's right.
I'm Miss Blanding, Assistant Advanced Promotion Manager for the King Brothers Circus.
Oh, I'm glad to know you, Miss Blanding.
I see you've got one of our posters.
Oh, yes. Fellow came along and gave me 2 free tickets to put it up. It was a great show. I really enjoyed it. It's a shame that you're moving on in 2 days.
Oh, but we're not. We've changed the closing date. So many people couldn't get tickets that Mr. King decided to hold over an extra day.
Oh, well, that's fine.
The trouble is we can't distribute tickets in the usual way, so we're placing them on sale in stores. There'll be an ad in tonight's paper telling folks they can pick them up in stores like this one. Think you can handle 100?
You mean to sell all in one day? Well, that's a lot of tickets.
Play it safe. Say 50 then, okay?
Well, I guess I can get rid of those.
I'll give you some at each price. Usually, Mr. Walker, we'd wait for payment until after the tickets were sold, but, well, I'm due in our next town, so I have to get things ready for the show there, and, well, I'd appreciate payment now.
Well, suppose I don't sell them all.
You'll get a refund, of course, but I doubt if you'll need any. They wanted Mr. King to stay over for 2 days to accommodate everyone who wanted to see the show.
Well, the fellow gave me 2 tickets for that poster. Now, if I sell all these,
Will 5 complimentaries do it?
that'll be fine.
There are a lot of people who agree with the man in the drugstore. A circus is irresistible. The crowds are usually large. There is excitement in the air. Yet in a very few minutes, a seemingly innocent event will happen. An event that in a strange way will connect itself with the ticket sold to the man in the drugstore.
He is one of the greatest marvels of the age. Meet him, Lana the Mystic, Lana the man who eats flame. Watch him, ladies and gentlemen. Watch the miracle of a man who eats fire and limbs. And there it is. You've seen it with your own 2 eyes. But that is only the beginning. For inside this tent, you will see a demonstration you will remember the rest of your lives. You're missing something, my friend. Here is one of the greatest freak acts of all time. What human being can do a thing like this? Why, ladies and gentlemen, he's more than just a freak.
Don't call me that. Don't you ever say that again.
Tom, Harry was just using a spiel. He didn't mean anything.
Those people. That's what they think I am. That's what they've always thought, a freak.
You're a performer and a good one. Every man in the circus knows that.
30 years. A long time, Mr. King.
I've seen your act 100 times. Every time I'm in the Midway, I stop by. You're a real trooper, a showman.
You've always treated me decent. Never called me a freak. I've been a real friend.
Tom, what's the matter?
I'm all right.
You feel faint?
Oh, fine. Fine, I tell you.
Well, I'll get a doc to come in and check you over, huh?
You don't have to bother.
Oh, Mr. King, I've been looking all over for you.
Michael, I thought you were patrolling the Midway.
I was, but something came up, trouble. There's a phone call in your wagon. I want you to hear the story yourself.
All right, I'll go right over. You better get a doctor to look at Tom Lana, and then you meet me in my wagon.
What way is this to treat a person? I came in here with those tickets. Then the first thing I know, they call in this special officer. Is it a crime if I couldn't sell all the tickets?
Where did you get these tickets, Mr. Walker?
From your promotion manager. She was in my store yesterday.
She?
We have no woman promotion manager.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Mr. Walker.
Are you sure?
Unfortunately, yes. Well, they look genuine enough, but serial number is off. Texture of the paper is different.
You mean this woman was a crook?
I'm afraid so.
These tickets are dated for tomorrow.
For the special performance.
Mr. Walker, there is no special performance. This is our last day.
But I sold most all of the tickets. They'll be coming to me for their money back. How about those tickets that I turned in? How about the money for those?
You paid for these in advance?
$130. I gave her the money, cash.
Pretty fast swindle. I wonder how many others she hit.
Are you sure she isn't with the circus? Or working with someone from it?
Well, look, Mr. Walker, I know how you feel, but I can assure you that... Well, making a counterfeit would have been simple. She didn't have any help from any of my people. I'll bet my whole circus on that.
Well, this whole thing is a jip. I used to think circuses were on the level. Now I know better.
But Mr. Walker...
I'm going to the police. They'll find out what's been going on. No one's going to make a fool out of me.
Yeah, Sam Walker was here. Sure was hot under the collar, too. Didn't like being made a fool of. Blamed everybody but himself. But he cooled down, realized he'd just been taken in.
You may be right, Chief. But he'll still bear a little resentment against us.
I don't see why it should. Wasn't your fault. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Oh, hello, Mr. Caldwell. What's that? Oh, when was this? Oh, I see. All right, Mr. Caldwell, we'll be down to see you. Yeah, right. Thank you. Goodbye. He runs a grocery store. Says a man sold him 50 tickets yesterday. He was using them as prizes for his customers, and somebody told him there was no circus tomorrow.
A man this time.
That's what I was afraid of. They probably worked this all over town.
But I've already told you, I don't hold you responsible.
Legally, you may be right, Chief. Though a lot of people are going to be angry at us.
This thing sure hits you, doesn't it?
Look, Chief, I've been running a circus for over 30 years. I've seen the grifters and the con men move in. Follow the circus all over the country. Look for 100 ways to swindle the people. There isn't a circus man in the business that hasn't fought them off.
Your big crowds are a natural target for thieves.
It's the people's money they want, not ours. But every time anybody plays a circus crowd for a sucker, every circus man in the business feels it. People begin to think of the circus as a sucker trap.
These people will be found.
They have to be. But it's our job, too. If circuses get a bad name, crowds won't come. Hundreds of people will be out of work.
Might be a good idea for Mr. Merkel here to talk to anyone who bought the counterfeits and find out exactly what these crooks look like.
He's assigned to you as of this minute. If these people get away with it this time, we're in for more trouble. A lot of it. I'd give a whole season's pay to know where they are right this minute.
Over $1,000. Nettie, it couldn't have gone any better.
My, I've got a brilliant husband, haven't I, Walter?
Yes, I have done well, and I'm only starting. I haven't forgotten the circus in the 15 years since they threw me out. I would have had a great act, one of the best.
Only you were caught selling phony tickets and ended up in jail.
Well, that's chicken feed compared to this scheme.
When we getting into this next town?
We're getting in a day ahead of King and his circus. And we're not going to sell the tickets through the stores this time. I've got a new idea. We're going to get rid of thousands of them in one clip.
Now, wait a minute. You forgot one thing. That tent only holds 5,000 people.
So what?
Well, you get thousands of extras, and what do you think's going to happen?
Well, some of them won't be able to get in. Be a little rough.
Walt, dropping a few hundred tickets like we did, that's nothing. But thousands, I don't like it. Can start a panic.
Look, what's the matter with you? Since when have you hated money?
I don't. I don't like to see anyone getting hurt. There's a difference between slick money and blood money.
There's no difference. They can send you away just as long for a penny as they can for $1.
It isn't the money, Walt.
To me, it's the money. To me, it's the years I spent in prison. Somebody's going to pay for it and pay big.
Walt, listen. Please, listen to me.
Oh, I'm not interested. I don't want to listen.
You don't even know who's going to pay. kids, Walt. Little kids. I remember once in New York, I was about 4 years old. We didn't have any money. I played in the streets and wore cut-down dresses and my sister's old shoes. Walt, listen to me. Mother saved pennies for one big Sunday. A ride on a boat. I couldn't sleep for a month, just waiting. I cried all the way on the subway because I was afraid we'd be late. Walt, there were thousands of people trying to get on that boat. Thousands. Half of them had counterfeit tickets. They broke through the lines and jammed onto the boat, but it wouldn't hold them. Walt, it wouldn't hold them. Women were going crazy, screaming and tearing at each other like animals, and kids were crying. It was panic. Walt, I saw a man step on a child like it was a rag doll. I still wake up at night screaming, afraid he'll step on me.
You got a point there, Nettie. And after this next job, don't take any boat rides.
It's on the move. And for Floyd King, the 1001 details begin all over again.
Well, the chief and I checked the railroad station. Both the man and woman pulled out last night.
Yeah? Where to?
The fellow at the ticket window wasn't sure, but he thought it was Baltimore.
That's 30 miles beyond our next play date.
The train goes through that town. They could get off and dispose of some more of these counterfeit tickets.
Yeah, the only trouble is we don't really know who we're looking for.
Caravan's moving out. I better get back to my truck.
Now, you're not going. Not with me, anyway. You're going to check with the state police at their headquarters at the Capitol. See if they can give you a line on any possible suspects. It's a long chance, but it's got to be covered.
That's a good idea.
If you're lucky, you'll come back with some mugshots. We can show them to the people here who were taken in. If you do it, I think it'd work out okay.
But somebody's got to check our next town and warn those shopkeepers to watch out for them. Somebody's got to take my place and see these people.
I've already got someone. Who? Me. I'm going to be my own special officer while you're gone. Look, there's something I'll tell you about me. A long time ago, I used to run a newspaper. Pretty good one, too. When I wanted a story that I believed in, I went out and dug it myself. Well, things haven't changed. These people are hitting at the circus. They're hitting at me. All right, I'm going to do something about it.
Yes, sir.
If they try to swindle those storekeepers in the next town, I'm going to be ready for them.
Hello? The Erie Company? I'd like to speak with the general manager, please. Hello? How do you do, sir? This is Carl Brockton, promotion manager with the King Brothers Circus. That's right. Yes, the show will be here tomorrow. What I'm calling you about, Mr. Logan, is a special performance we've set aside as a benefit for your local charities. The way it works is some of the largest firms in town buy a block of tickets and then turn them over to underprivileged children and other people who couldn't normally afford to attend. We'd like to set aside a block of seats for you, Mr. Logan. Yes, sir. How many?
Other people
100 seats? Oh, that's fine. They'll be delivered to you, and you can pay the messenger at the same time.
How many?
Thank you, Mr. Logan.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
You're helping out a worthy cause, sir.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yes, they'll be delivered to you, and you can pay the messenger then. That's right. Special performance day after tomorrow. Well, thanks again. Goodbye.
What did I tell you? 1,500 seats sold already, and we're not halfway down the list of companies in this town.
I must be crazy.
No, just smart. The way I knew you'd be when you saw how much this was going to make for us.
I see something else, too. That performance day after tomorrow is going to be sold out with the regular circus tickets. people who get our 3,000 are going to try and get in that tent. Walt, if they're kids.
Will you forget it? Nothing's going to happen. Now, come on, let's finish up these calls. I've got to call that printer in New York in an hour and have him send those tickets down airmail special delivery.
But, Walt, please, won't...
Finish it up.
The old cry is heard again. The circus is in town. But this time, it's more than just a show. It's a race to head off a tragedy. Floyd King is still unaware that counterfeit tickets are being sold to business firms in large blocks. Tickets for tomorrow's performance.
The band sale couldn't have gone better. Almost every performance is sold out. Would you like to look at these figures?
Thanks, but I hadn't time. By the way, have you seen Tom Lana?
Yeah, just a little while ago. I've been trying to get him to a doctor ever since Merkel told me you ordered it. He won't go. Says he was feeling all right.
I'm worried about him. Yeah, a man his age, got to be careful. By the way, will you tell him to take a couple of days off? I'd go down and see him myself, except that I got to go into town. I may not be back all day. Right.
Bye-bye.
The first day of setting up a show in a new town is usually a busy one for Floyd King. But this time he spends it talking to storekeepers, trying to discover if they've already been approached by the counterfeiters. In every place, the answer is no. As the day goes by, he finds no trace of the thieves' activity. Maybe they haven't come here. They know the fraud was discovered in the first town. They'd be alert now, afraid to try the same racket all over again. Is he free of them? Floyd King wonders.
Well, sir, we only have a few blocks of tickets left, sir, but we can deliver yours to you tomorrow morning. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hamels. All sold out. Over 4,000 tickets. You know how much money that means to us? $8,000.
We haven't got the money yet.
Ah, it's as good as in our pockets right now. They'll be holding those tickets for me at the post office tomorrow morning. I'll pick them up, and then we start collecting. Now, I'm going to go down to that circus lot and laugh in their faces. I'm going to go all through it, knowing that tomorrow morning they'll have the biggest mess they ever saw. I don't care if it closes the circus.
There's only one trouble.
Yeah?
You may be murdering people to do it.
And ladies and gentlemen, here is a demonstration you will remember the rest of your lives. Talk about asbestos, why lana is the best fireproof material ever invented. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, for one of the greatest spectacles in the entertainment industry. All right, Lana, show them the man who eats fire and lives.
All right, Manna, come on. Get going, will you?
Mr. King. Sorry, Mr. King's not here. Oh, it's you, Tom. What can I...
I've got to see him right away.
Well, he's gone into town, been there all day. I'll tell him you want to see him.
But it's important. Important, I tell you.
It's always important.
Where is he? Can I call him? When'll he be back?
Calm down, Tom. Can't I help?
I was doing my act on the Midway, and I saw a man. I recognized him, I tell you.
So you recognize somebody.
But all of Mr. King's troubles, this guy's got to be doing them. I got to tell Mr. King.
Why don't you tell me?
No, I won't tell anybody but Mr. King. Just him. Too important. Got to tell Mr. King.
Those freaks, they're all alike.
An hour later, Floyd King returns to his circus. It takes another 15 minutes before the manager knows he's back. And finally, Floyd King learns that Tom Lana, the star sideshow attraction, has been waiting impatiently to see him. Tom Lana had been waiting, but a heart weakened by years of work and great stress had failed in a moment of crisis. The excitement of his discovery had taken its toll.
Tom, the doctor said I could only talk to you for a few minutes.
Mr. King.
You said you saw a man. The counterfeit tickets, that's what it was about, wasn't it? Now, Tom, I know it's hard to talk, but try. Try hard. Do you know his name?
No.
What was he going to do?
Tickets. Sell phony tickets.
And I've canvassed all the storekeepers, and nobody tried to palm off any phony tickets. I appreciate your help, Tom, but...
Not that way.
What do you mean?
Worse. Be awful.
How can he? How can he hurt us with tickets? How can he do it?
15 years ago. But I remember.
Have you got an airmail package for Walter Perry? Thank you.
Out of my way, will you?
This officer's got a search warrant for you.
What's the idea?
We want to see what's in that package.
No, you can't do this to me. I have my rights.
It's no use, Walt.
Let me go!
Walt, it's all right.
Shut up! He can't open that package.
Why not? They're just circus tickets, aren't they?
I told him. I told him it wasn't any good, but he wouldn't listen. We're lucky, Walt. He saves us from murder.
There was only one way they could have found us. You must have told them.
No. No, it wasn't her. It was circus people who found you out. An old man whose whole life belonged to it, and who remembered you was a thief who never really belonged.
The big show goes on in this town and hundreds of others throughout the country. With Walter Perry and his wife safely in jail, there's little likelihood that they'll be able to repeat their vicious racket. As for Tom Lehner, he recovered, and he's now retired and living out his life in peace and contentment. It takes a lot of strength to hold up a 5-pole tent and an equal amount of conviction and belief to run a circus. It's an institution every American believes in and wants to keep free from any taint of suspicion caused by unscrupulous thieves. With men like Floyd King around, the American circus will remain what it's always been, the dream of little boys and the real enjoyment of millions of people. And now this is Charles Bickford inviting you to be with us next week. Once again, you will see another authentic story of one whose key it is to serve, a public servant dedicated to you, and whom you will meet as the man behind the badge.